Hello, lovers. Oh man, I love some good jazz. Jah Rastafari Sunday. Welcome to Sex on Sundays. I am the Love Alchemist, Kendall Love, and I am here to talk about sex. We're going to take the taboo out of sex, speaking about it. And today we are going to talking about sex. We're going to talk about communication in the bedroom. We're going to talk about verbal communication and body language and breath. We're going to talk about the importance of expressing to your partner what it is you want. I don't know where to look. I'm like, is the camera over here? I'm looking at myself. It's my vanity kicking in, making sure that, can you see my grays? Sex. It's one topic on many occasions that I've put on the table just in general. I bartended for 10 years, and every once in a while, I'd have a handful of people, usually guys. I worked at a dive bar, Dave's Tavern in Pacific Beach, which is now the Vinyl or something. I think it's like a classic rock bar. Go check it out if you're into dive bars. I can't speak for what it is today. It was a pretty fun bar back in the day when I was working there. But on any given afternoon or evening, the right people in there, the right guys in there, I would make a comment, and that would just open up a can of worms, and we'd get into the subject of sex and all different aspects of it. And it's so easy, you know? I'm sitting there in front of these guys that I'm not sexually active with, and that I don't really have any sort of emotional attachment to. So I could totally express myself, you know, that I like to be fucked in the ass. So I'm telling these guys that are never going to get me naked, but it's okay. But how do I express that to the guy that I'm actually like involved with? How do I bring something like that up to him? And not anal sex specifically, but just anything that turns me on that I think might be, you know, let your freak flag fly. So my amazing sister girl, Miss Erica, my moon child, I think she coined that phrase, let your freak flag fly. So when do you actually come out of your comfort zone and start telling your partner what you're into? When do you start coming out of your comfort zone and start asking them what they want you to do to them to get their mojo going, you know? It's going to make or break our sexual experience. It's going to. And we can go through the motions of getting to that space where we're naked and we're fucking without saying anything about what we need or want, and things are going to jive. You know, you're in that beginning of the stages of the relationship or the just being together, or the hot and heavy, like go to the bar and get wasted and like go home with someone for like a one night stand, next morning walk of shame, or as I like to call it, the stride of pride. You know, and you're really wanting to like just get into it, and no communication's really needed. But what about like, you know, a few months into that relationship, or probably more realistically a couple years into that relationship? Where is the communication on what you want and what you need? Let me turn this down. It's a little distracting. I can't imagine what it sounds like for you guys out there. So I feel like I have to have music on all the time. So when do we open up that door and like bring those things to the table and make it a part of our dynamic, you know? And I think that it's good just to be like straight up, like, hey, let's have a talk. Let's talk about what we want. Let's talk about our hard no's, because those are so important too. Because if you're getting fucked in the ass and it's not your thing, man, you're just doing it for your partner, and it's like, well, it's going to leave maybe a little bit of a bad taste in your mouth later. as far as like wanting to have sex with that person again. So, you know, we got to be honest. We got to be real with ourselves and what we're into, and with what we want. And sexual compatibility, I think, is like, it's key. It's just as important as communication about anything. It's just as important as trust and honesty. Bad sex is a deal breaker for me. And I think, yeah, I probably feel like a lot of you are. Oh, by the way, hey, just real quick. Well, it's backwards. Good Vibes Barbershop over in OB. Go see my boy Ryan. He will hook you up, bring sexy back for you. Good Vibes Barbershop, Ocean Beach. Go check him out. It's a cool cat, and his girl Emily is fucking phenomenal. Beautiful, beautiful soul and spirit. And I just wanted to put a little plug in there for Good Vibes. Good people. So that's in San Diego, California, by the way. So communication, so telling our partner what we want, and expressing to them like what we're down for, what positions we like. And then if it sucks, if we are in pain, if it's hurting, oh my God, if you're getting banged from behind and you feel like your fucking uterus is being stabbed to death, like, speak the fuck up, let them know, you know. I mean, I don't know from a male's perspective, but I imagine that you guys probably want to know if we are not enjoying ourselves. And I think that's something that us women need to just realize. And you guys too, man, we want to know what turns you on. I can't tell you how many times I've asked my lovers, like, what do you want me to do? What do you like? Like, while I'm giving a blowjob, and I'm just like, oh, like, what else, what can I do? Or what do you want me to do more of? Or what is really, what's going to get you going even more? Because I really want to make this like the best blowjob you've ever had in your life. And, oh no, what you're doing right there is good. Now, okay, I'll take that. I'm not going to turn down that. That's definitely a compliment. But I know for a fact that some of you guys want a finger in your ass, or some of you want your fucking balls fondled and played with. So speak up. Like, let's tell them, because that great blowjob is going to go to phenomenal if you let your girl know or your dude know that you want him to do something else, or something in addition to what you're already getting, you know? It's it just blows my mind that it's so tough for us to talk about, to just have a conversation about sex. I went into a sex shop over in Point Loma the other night with a girlfriend of mine, best friend of mine, and the second we walked in the door, the guy behind the counter is like, oh, please promise me you'll ask me any questions you have. And I was like, well, hell yeah, man. I need to know it all. Like, I'm about to go to school. You're going to be one of my gurus. And he laughed. And then, and I made some comment about maybe like testing me. And he's like, okay, well, do you know what the internal clitoris is? Oh man. I know I don't know everything. I'll say that. I have a lot to learn, and this is part of my journey, is why I'm on this, is like to like really become an expert in all things sex. And I had never heard this term before, the internal clitoris. So I thought for a second, and I was like, oh, is it otherwise known as the G-spot? Right? Nope, he said. Oh, fuck. I thought that was such a good guess. And I'm thinking, oh, is it in the anus? I said, you're getting close. And he explained to me that the clitoris goes, it comes past the lips and comes around and actually ends in the anal cavity. And I, of course, you know, as soon as I get home, I'm fucking Googling this shit to see an actual image of it, and holy fucking shit. The clitoris is such a large organ, and the clitoris, its only job is to give women pleasure. It doesn't have any other job than to give us pleasure. It's fucking brilliant. I love being a woman. I love being a woman. And so that was a great conversation. And then I went on, I'm browsing and I'm shopping and I'm looking up stuff, and then he wants to put in his 2 cents, and he comes out from behind the counter and he goes over and we were talking about gags and nipple clamps, and he was explaining the difference between these. And then and then he directs me over to the butt plugs, and he's like, pulls one off the shelf. He's like, this is the one you got to get. And it's a vibrating butt plug. He's like, oh, put this up your butt and get your man's cock up in your vagina and get stimulated both ways. He's like, it will blow your mind. It will be the best orgasm you ever have. And we were having this conversation as if we were talking about how to make eggs Florentine, or a bad day that we had at work, or I can't even, think of an example. It was just like any other topic, any other conversation, which is what I strive for and kind of how I communicate about sex. No shame, no guilt, no qualms. I don't get embarrassed. I don't get grossed out. Pause. As long as the people are consensuating adults, consenting. Oh, excellent. And I think I am a great writer. Woo. Consenting adults and nothing illegal, no children involved, and for me, no animals involved. I know that's some people's thing, but that will be a topic I think that will come up. So unpause. So it's just, I just want to be able to talk about sex and every aspect of it without it being weird, or without the guy thinking that I'm trying to fuck him, or have a guy talk to me about sex without having the objective to take me home and fuck me, or a girl. So I want sex to be something that is just in our line of communication in general. And I think that so many of us are so afraid to voice our opinions about it, because I know all y'all are sitting at home whenever the time is right for you, and you're searching your porn, trying to figure out which video to watch, maybe getting through 3 minutes of it before you fucking come, or come. So sex is like natural, and it is human, and we all need it. It's very, and done in the right ways, it's actually very healing, and we'll get around to talking about that as well later down the line. It's actually a very powerful tool where healing is concerned. So yeah. So go home tonight, or next time you are with your partner, and put the subject on the table and ask them, like, have you been married for 10, 7, 19 years? Bring it up. Talk about sex. When's the last time you fucked? When's the last time you were in bed naked together and just intertwined? No penetration, no orgasm, just actually taking on that connection. That is very powerful. And communicating to your partner that that's something that you need too is highly recommended. So I challenge you to go home and bring up something very raw and very blunt to your partner. Ask them, would you want me to? Fill in the blank. Think of something that your partner won't necessarily be offended at, but maybe a little shocked by. Would you want me to fill in the blank to you? See what they say. See how that conversation goes. See if you don't all have wind up having sex. That's the goal here. Make love, fuck, get down, get dirty, tell each other what you want. When he's licking you, when he's eating you out, if you are on that verge, if you are in that space, man, let him know. You know, not all guys pay attention to breath and the breathing thing, which is a huge key. Let him know right there, don't stop, just like that. And guys, listen, if she says keep going like that, keep going. I mean, unless you got lockjaw and you got to stop, then obviously tell her. Bitch, you need to come soon. I'm about tired. You know? Hygiene. Communicating about hygiene is really important. I try to be really mindful. If I've had a long day and I've been at it running errands or seeing clients or I've been at the gym or whatever I've done, I'm going to want to take a shower and clean up before I let my man or my woman go down on me. That's my preference. I want to be courteous. You know what I'm saying? But if I've had a mellow day and the moment arises, like, go for it. But if you're not down or I smell or it's not pleasurable for you, tell me, man. Why don't you go hop in the shower? I will never forget this guy that I was seeing. We were only maybe hanging out for a couple of months, and he stayed the night, and the next morning he started to go down on me. We had sex the night before, and then he came up after a minute and he's like, oh, why don't you go take a shower? And I was like, okay. That was like my green light. He's gonna fucking eat the shit out of my pussy in just a minute. I'm gonna go take a fucking shower. And I didn't get offended. My ego was not bruised. I mean, we are human, right? So fuck, I got in that shower. I got that massager. I got that hot water up there. Oh my God. Yeah, let me just sit on that for a second. That was some good pussy eating. So, communication is key, and we got to touch base on everything about it, and don't let your ego get in the way. If your partner, and if you're not, like, your partner's like into this, whatever, let's think of something. Let's think of your partner wants to be tied up and gagged. He's super into bondage. Let's say he's super into bondage and he wants to be dominated. And you're not comfortable with that. So what do you say? Do you tell him you're not down for it? Do you tell him you would rather not, but you will? Do you just do it and keep your mouth shut? Like, how do you handle that? How do you handle beating your man's ass because he wants to be tied up and dominated, and it's not really a space you're comfortable in, Communication, man. Communication. So don't be shy, Let's start to really think about it as something that is super important, and it's going to be something that's going to enhance our relationships, and it's going to be something that's going to help our relationships. And communicating about everything else is so important. We got to talk about finances and money. We've got to talk about the kids and how to raise them. We've got to talk about our day at work and just like relieving that stress. We talk about our families and what's going on in our families, especially when we're so dysfunctional. We communicate about all these things, but then like sex, it's like so hard. But why? Why? So let's open those doors of communication. Let's talk to each other. Let's tell each other what we want. Let's tell each other what we need. Let's tell each other what doesn't feel good, by means of saying, like, it's just not my thing, and let's have some awesome sex, right? So that's it. Just a quick note on speaking. Leave your comments if you want to be part of any of these sex talks. I welcome you to contact me, and we'll go through what topics are on the table to sit and have these conversations. Quick note, the King's Tables are coming together. We still have some spots, so if you want to be at the King's Table, which is me and a bunch of men sitting around drinking beers and talking about fucking, please let me know. Men, San Diego, you've got to be San Diego resident or willing to fly to San Diego for this, which I don't know that that's like a thing yet, but that'd be great if you want to come over from Florida. Or like the fucking dirty South, I do declare, Southern man at the King's Table. My. I'll listen to you communicate all day. The Vixens Table. The Vixens Table is coming together. We still have a few spots on that, and I'm definitely willing to throw more of those tables in, the more women who are interested. That's going to be sitting around drinking some wine, talking about fucking, and fly on the wall, gentlemen. Get to listen to us talk about you guys and the most intimate aspect of our lives with you. So look into that. Yeah, so if you want to be a part of any of the discussions or one-on-ones, or come in, just share your experience or your viewpoints or your knowledge and education, if you are already a sexologist or have something to share, I am a sponge right now. I want to learn it all. I want to know everything. So hit me up. And thank you for watching and joining, and happy humping.